I always thought I'd remember the worst moments of my life, but that changed the day I found the old, dust-caked journal wedged behind a loose brick in the attic. The strange thing was, every page was filled with my handwriting, my looping script, my odd little doodles in the margins, but I couldn't recall writing a single word. The entries described events I'd never experienced, a carnival that appeared on foggy nights, an uncanny neighbor with eyes too wide, a series of sleepless evenings punctuated by a relentless knocking at my bedroom window. It was unsettling, but not nearly as much as the way each entry ended with the same sentence, scrawled larger and darker each time: "If you're reading this, run before midnight." I shrugged it off at first, thinking maybe I'd kept a dream journal as a kid and just forgotten. But as I read on, the details grew sharper, more invasive, like the entry from last Thursday, describing how I'd woken up to find muddy footprints trailing across the living room carpet. The thing is, I had woken up to muddy footprints that morning, and I lived alone. My hands started to tremble as I turned the pages, and suddenly, I was desperate to find some logical explanation, something that didn't involve the word impossible. By the time dusk fell, I was still hunched over the journal, unable to let it go. The latest entry was dated today, written in my own handwriting, but I hadn't written it. The memory it described was happening now, me, sitting in the attic, reading the journal, heart pounding. I stared at the clock. 11:37 p.m. My skin prickled, the air felt wrong, thick and electric. I flipped to the last page, where the warning was written again, this time underlined: "If you're reading this, run before midnight." A cold draft swept past, and I thought I heard footsteps creaking up the stairs, my own, echoing from somewhere I hadn't been yet. The journal slipped from my grasp. As I scrambled to my feet, the words on the last page began to blur and shift, forming a new sentence: "You didn't run last time, either." The lights flickered, and a shadow detached itself from the far wall, grinning with my face. The attic door slammed shut behind me, and the clock struck 12.